A sport's vitality is the people who are engrossed with it. For golf, although some people might say that golf is a rich man or woman's sport, but in actuality, 1 out of 3 Americans ages 6 and up played golf, either on course or off course, followed golf on television or online, read about the game, or listened to a golf-related podcast in 2021. It is even being included in a few school programs. With over 59.8 million people being at least somewhat interested, the future of golf seems bright. So for LIV Golf, what's ahead for 2023? Before we continue, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe, as well as the notification bell for more content like this. Now, moving on with the video. The new series. As LIV Golf may be a mystery to casual fans, let's start with what it is. The LIV Golf Tour is the name of a new tour that is financially backed by Saudi Arabia. It was even called Saudi Golf League in its early days due to this reason. The name LIV is not actually an acronym, but the Roman numeral for 54, which represents the lowest score you could shoot if you were to birdie every hole on a par 72 course, explained by former golf champion Greg Norman during an interview. It is also the number of holes to be played in each event. Everyone knows that the PGA Tour is the top series in the world of golf. However, LIV Golf is looking to prove that it is more than just a blip on the radar. For its inaugural season, it hosted 8 events with a per-event basis pay to the pro players in its roster. The funds for the 8 total events totaled $225 million, wherein $20 million was awarded in London for the individual competition, where their first event was held. The last place finisher wasn't left out, as well as it was guaranteed that they'll receive $120,000. Adding the appearance fees and signing on payouts individual players have accepted, these events are the richest tournaments in golf history. However, most notable golfers were offered even more, a 9-figure paycheck that some were unable to resist. Phil Mickelson is being paid a reported $200 million to take part, and Dustin Johnson, the highest-ranked player to sign up to date, was said to have been tempted by an offer worth $150 million. Bryson DeChambeau and Patrick Reed, 2 other top stars who signed on before the recent LIV Series event in Oregon, almost certainly received similar inducements to surrender their PGA Tour careers. A lot of big names, however, stayed away, such as golf champion Tiger Woods, who, despite being offered nearly $1 billion, rejected the entire concept of the series. LIV Golf's roster. By the end of their first season, despite being ridiculed by the media, fans, and professional golfers about their aspirations of golf but louder, had lured major winners such as Brooks Koepka, Sergio Garcia, and eventually world's number 2 Cam Smith into the fold. A year ago, the idea that at least half of the top listers of the PGA Tour would break away was ridiculous. Now, the next question is, who's next? Reports have surfaced on the first week of November that the Saudi Arabian-funded league is planning to recruit at least 7 players from the PGA Tour by the end of the calendar year. The ones they have taken an interest in are the numbers 4 and 6 in the official world golf ranking, namely Patrick Cantlay and Xander Schauffele, respectively. Schauffele was notably present at the meeting with Tiger Woods and Rory McIlroy last season for the PGA's core players, which can be assumed to be an assurance that he'll stick with them. On the other hand, Cantlay has been linked to Greg Norman's golf circuit multiple times. There has even been rumors in LIV Golf circles about him joining them, but Cantlay has maintained that he has no plans to join LIV Golf. So it's just a matter of seeing if his stance will change. LIV's initial value proposition, although very straightforward, was pretty alluring, throwing heaps of money at pretty much any golfer in other tours and see who will take the bait. The group plans to have all players for their 2023 campaign signed up by the end of 2022. If they manage to accomplish that, the Breakaway Tour's second season would considerably look different to their first, especially since they'll increase emphasis on team competition. LIV's president, Atul Khosla, pointed out that the series will be less volatile this coming year. "We're in the middle of the discussions," he said of new signings. "We are going to get it done this year. We want the teams locked in by the new year. It will play itself out over the next couple of months." Broadcasting opportunities. As of late, the biggest problem that LIV is facing is the fact that almost nobody is watching the actual golf played. This is pertaining to the inability of LIV to secure any broadcast deals for the sport. As it stands, the tour's coverage is limited only to its own website and their YouTube channel, despite the appearance of umpteen major champions on their platform. "On the US front, we're back and forth with a few different networks," said Khosla. "Step 1 was to show them the product, which they clearly understand. We had to show them the graphics and how it would be very different. Step 2 was to clear the time, he adds. I feel good about where we are, but we have work to do over the next couple of months. We think we're providing an incredible commercial product. These are not 6-month or 1-year deals. If a TV network is getting behind this, it's for multiple years. We've got to start commercializing the product. We've got to get on TV, and we have to get corporate partners. These are milestones that we need to hit. Team franchise. As everything that has happened thus far was mostly an outflow of cash from Saudi Arabia's public investment fund, LIV is aiming for a business model that would eventually be similar to that of other major team sports in the United States, such as the NFL, NBA, Major League Baseball, and NHL. Officials hope that franchising its teams will create a revenue stream that will allow them to get a return on their investment. Our belief is that it might not be from the get-go, but people understand team sports. They play team sports, stated by Atul Khosla. Yes, they have a favorite player as well. It is no different from anywhere else, but they do relate to being associated with the team. We feel like that trend can continue in golf as well. He further states that, although this concept is new in golf, the inherent human nature of wanting to associate with a great team is something that will make the model work. The only problem is having a great team. If you can't get behind the likes of Dustin Johnson's 4 aces or Brooke Koepka's smash, then it'll be hard to convince the people to spend any money on it. More details regarding the structure showcase that the teams will be 75% owned by LIV, while the other 25% is owned by principal players. How it'll go? Khosla said a successful 2023 will see 12 established teams with 48 players and brands playing a 14-event schedule with the goal of expanding golf's footprint across the globe, as well as a commercialized product of what they're offering. Believe it or not, LIV wants to be additive to the sport and provide fans a different form of entertainment, like offering music playing throughout the round or countless activities in its fan village in addition to the on-course product. Of the 8 events in their first season, 5 were held in the United States, with 1 each in England, Thailand, and Saudi Arabia. Expect LIV to go to golf-starved markets once again in 2023, similar to its 2022 schedule, which featured stops near Portland, Boston, and Chicago. They also plan to hit some of the home countries of a few of its players, which would point to potential stops in Australia, South Africa, and England once again. For the time schedule, it will seemingly be tight apparently. LIV wants to avoid any of the major tours, as well as other major sports events like the NFL, so a late February start that will last until September. The league will also avoid heritage events such as the Genesis Invitational and Arnold Palmer Invitational, with a bit of a buffer from majors as well. The series has done well to produce a slow drip of news between events, which points to a schedule release sometime in November. Finishing strong is a line that fits LIV very well. After a lot of criticism, it has been able to not only sustain itself, but even expand in the sports world. Despite a lot of organizations, players, and even fans denying their future association with LIV, nobody knows whether they'll stand their ground in front of its attractive offer. Regardless, this coming 2023 will be the real starter for the series as their plans become bigger and more ambitious.